Hi Cancer. So this is the second Cancer read for the channel. It is Cancer season right now with a Scorpio moon. Cancer is the cardinal water, births the water seasons, the summer solstice, the days at their longest. I know a lot of people are feeling a lot of things this Cancer season, like always. And isn't that beautiful about the archetypes? They really do come through. As the planets shift around, the moon shifts around, that brings in another energy too, but the sun sign season really flavors everything very largely. So right now in the present energy is the Knight of Cups in the reverse. So maybe feeling like you're in a little bit of a hasty, brash energy with the way, feeling scattered with the way that you express love or express your emotions. And this is exactly, I guess, what I was just talking about with people feeling a lot of things this Cancer season. Sort of feeling like a hastiness of emotion right now, not necessarily feeling well grounded in your emotional life right now. Feeling a lot of things, and maybe not necessarily having that be a sensation of just feeling like love and light right now, but sort of feeling like hastiness around the way that you're feeling your emotions. Interestingly, this also just came up for the Taurus reading. The Ace of Pentacles in the reverse is your challenge. So this can be concern about a lost, feeling like there was an opportunity, some kind of opportunity having to do with your career, your finances, the way that you seek abundance, how you define abundance, how you seek stability, feeling like some sort of divine opportunity has been lost. Whether or not that's true, that's the sensation that you're feeling right now. In the recent past, you have the 10 of Rods in the reverse. This came up in the future energy for the Gemini reading just a little bit ago. So this looks like you've been recently coming out of feeling like this overwhelm, this sense of overwhelm, this fire energy, working forward with inspiration, getting to the end of that hill with those 10 of Rods. And this is feeling that this is like the sensation that you've been feeling like overwhelmed by coming to the end of that road and feeling like tired. So feeling tired and then having your emotions sort of feel like they're sort of brashly running around, maybe to follow that sense of overwhelm. And in the near future, what you have is the Six of Pentacles. So from this experience that you're going through, feeling like you're going to be moving into a time soon of giving and receiving. And Cancers absolutely do a beautiful job of giving to others, and one of the issues that they can run into is not giving enough of that love to the self, which can be detrimental for the self, but also the people who you're trying to help. And so in the near future, you are taking this experience and moving back into this energy of feeling like you're kind of equally giving and receiving to the self and to those around you, which is what Cancers really do love to do. In the above energy, the conscious energy, what you are consciously aware of going through right now, maybe what people are seeing of you, or what you're showing to people, is the Three of Cups in the reverse. So this is cup energy again in the reverse, like your present energy. So not necessarily feeling like celebratory, maybe releasing some sort of a third party situation in human form or in another kind of form that feels like resonates for you, but not necessarily feeling like you're in a highly celebratory mood of, getting together with friends and being excited and partying. Maybe giving some of that party type energy to yourself, or maybe just taking some time for yourself to deal with this sort of overwhelming energy that you feel. And in the subconscious energy, you have the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So maybe thinking that you're with this, again, fire energy. Maybe you have a new idea, sense of inspiration about something, but this could be that what you have going on in the subconscious of what you're thinking about is a reworking of some sort of an idea of inspiration, reworking of a creative idea, reworking of an idea that you had been planning to move forward with. So kind of rethinking about something that had been making you feel very inspired, like maybe taking like some time to think about that a little bit more. And I think that makes sense with these cards in the reverse, giving energy to yourself, resting while you're figuring out sort of more of this, I don't even want to say tumultuous, but more of this like heavier energy that you're feeling right now of not really being ready yet to be in your near future energy of the Six of Pentacles. In the advice right now is the Seven of Swords in the reverse. So this can either be self-deception or letting go of a deception. So if you feel like you have deceived someone, if someone has deceived you, if you're deceiving yourself, this can be a good reminder to try to move past that energy. It could mean, the advice is to deceive yourself. I don't necessarily know that would ever really be the full advice, but maybe this is like advice on letting go of a sense of betrayal. I think that water signs can easily feel betrayed because they just feel so much. And so this can sort of be like, if you are betraying someone, working to release that and fix that. If someone has betrayed you, working to release and forgive that. And if it does have something to do with like deceiving yourself about something, then maybe it just means that right now is a time to not be processing everything that's too heavy. If you have to like tell yourself a story about something right now, maybe that can be what the advice could be. But I think it's always best to know what our truth is in our moment, but there's really no one right answer about how to do things at all times. That's just not possible. And so releasing maybe just like releasing a sense of betrayal. If you feel betrayed by something, working in a new direction, avoiding people who have made you feel betrayed, or working to make sure that you're not betraying other people as well. So just working with that energy of betrayal and honesty around that. The energy surrounding you right now is the moon. So this is Pisces energy, but the moon is where Cancer is domiciled. This has to do with, things going on right now that you just can't really put your finger on. So sometimes you can't have all the answers. It has to do with fear, anxiety, illusions, delusions, and water. The water can sort of kind of because there are so many things and water shapeshifts to everything. This is big water energy with Pisces energy, and with the Cancer card as well. So the energy surrounding you right now is sort of like a sensation of fear and anxiety, and not necessarily knowing which way to go about something. But this is a major arcana card, and so something kind of divine is being played out here. And sometimes it's helpful, I think, to just know that that's what's going on and not necessarily know which direction that's going to go exactly, but just being able to flow with it and keep moving with it until what is meant to be known is known. The fear right now, hopes and fears, but I read this card mostly as like a fear, is the Four of Wands in the reverse. I think this one is not necessarily a Cancer card, but some people associate the Four of Wands with Cancer because it's about celebration, family, marriages, celebrations. And this card is in the reverse, which kind of fits with this Three of Cups in the reverse, just not feeling like in big party energy. But this is like a fear of like a lost sense of home and celebration and partnership. These two people are under the awning getting married, and so this is sort of like a fear of not necessarily having that home and comfort that Cancer really does want and need to feel most comfortable. And so the fear is like not being able to maintain or get to this celebratory energy, whether it has to do with the home or not. But Cancer season, this can have to do sometimes with the home, but inspiration and just celebration. And so not necessarily feeling like you're in that celebratory energy, which makes sense, especially with what you got here in the above, not necessarily feeling celebratory energy. And the outcome right here is the King of Wands in the reverse. So if everything were kind of to keep going as it's going right now with no change in, anything based on, this reading or other energies going around, the King of Wands in the reverse. So this can be like a lack of feeling inspiration about something. So because I'm new to tarot still, if there is a card that I don't have a perfectly quick way of being able to interpret, I will still look it up and it is what it is. I appreciate anyone, if you are, with me on this journey as I learn. I do feel like this is something I'm being called to do, and I really find really fun to do, but I'm learning. So impulsiveness, haste, ruthless, high expectations. Oh shoot, sorry. I do have to get this in real quick. 1 second, sorry. Okay, so a sense of hastiness, impulsiveness, ruthless, high expectations can be the possible outcome of what's going on here. And so, especially, with the disruption and stuff, it seems like maybe you're feeling like a little bit disrupted here with your emotions too. So it's always interesting when other things kind of happen during a read. But impulsiveness, so that same Knight in the Knight of Cups in the reverse energy, hastiness, ruthlessness, high expectations for yourself or for other people is the possible outcome of all of this. So just be careful when you're really dealing in your emotions and feeling very heavily weighed down by that process, that you don't necessarily use your feelings as facts as a way to move forward with things. Make sure you're being patient with yourself, but also really make sure that you're not externalizing anything that you could be going on internally onto other people. And be careful of the impulsiveness that those emotions can sometimes bring, and the hastiness and the ruthlessness. Cancer really has Cancer season has so much love in it, but every action can have an equal and opposite reaction. So try not to have too high expectations or ruthlessness about the way that you also express love, because it can happen that way as well. And your future energy is really this giving and receiving kind of energy, and the energy surrounding you is there's fear and anxiety, and there's something major arcana, there's something sort of universally divine going on, and so maybe just letting that be is the right answer right now. Things don't always feel perfect, and they're not supposed to. So can I get a couple of color cards for Cancer, please? A couple of Cancer cards. A couple of color cards for Cancer, please. After my reading. And a couple of color cards for Cancer. A couple of color cards for Cancer. And a couple of color cards for Cancer after my reading. And a couple of color cards for Cancer after my reading. 4, 2, 3. Okay, so 4 popped out. So we've got hunger, flow, growth, and protection. So a couple of these are new to me, but hunger, flow, growth, and protection. So first I'm going to do hunger, because it does seem to be like, this is the first one I saw, and Cancer season is associated with the stomach, associated with the breast. So feeding your baby, feeding yourself. Hunger. This card is not about the bodily hunger for food, but a hunger for something more, a craving for something that will nourish your soul. It signals a deep wanting for something to fill you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Ask yourself, what are you hungry for? So again, not necessarily related to real hunger food, but all of the sort of physical things that we go through can really be extrapolated to the spiritual world as well. So is there a craving for something that will nourish your soul, and a deep wanting? And so Cancer, it's the Scorpio moon right now. So like, what is that deep desire that you have? And is that why you're feeling like you're sort of scattered about things? Because there is a deep desire that you either know or don't know that you have, and you're feeling like you want that. Whether or not it means that you should be running towards that or not, that's not necessarily what this answers. And flow, this is what we were just talking about with the moon in Pisces with the Cancer card. The name aquamarine is derived from the 2 Latin words aqua and marina, meaning seawater. This card is about going with the flow, changing and adapting to a situation rather than fighting against it. It's important to keep in mind that currents can be very strong, and water always gets to where it wants to go, slowly carving away stone as it flows by. Let this thought guide you on your journey, and let the water carry you where you need to go. So really just letting this flow of whatever this divine sort of energy is that's moving around take you. Even as a water sign, that depending on what this Cancer placement you're watching this for, depending on where that Cancer placement is for you, really following that sensation of flow for yourself, because sometimes that's really all that you can do. And if you fight against the tide, that can actually put you in more danger than just going with it. So growth is the next one. So we got green growth. This card speaks to the transformational qualities of nature and its ability to softly grow and change throughout time. We are constantly growing and shifting throughout our lives. True growth means that you're moving toward your ultimate truth and the highest version of yourself. Sometimes growth can be painful, and you need to prune to make way for new blossoms. Remember that this is just a part of the process, and you're making your way towards your own sacred truth. So again, working towards that truth, looking towards that hunger, and letting it flow, because you can't grow anything without the water. So you can't have earth and stability without flowing with the water and allowing that to nourish the earth as well. Protection is the last color card, and protection comes up as... And protection is great because really Cancer season, again, the balance of every season, there's a protectiveness to protect the home, but also that protectiveness can go to an over-defensiveness as well. And so really balancing that sense of protection to keep healthy boundaries, but to not necessarily create too many boundaries where then there becomes sort of some sort of a loss from that boundary creation. But it's important to protect yourself, and that's what it's also really important for Cancers to learn, is that to protect other people, you need to protect yourself as well. So protection, the essence of this card is about feeling personally safe and protected as you navigate through life. It asks you to find the delicate balance of pushing yourself through fearful, anxious situations while also feeling secure. This card asks how you can feel protected during those scary situations. Does it mean reaching out to others or just making sure that you are grounded in the present? How can you move forward while feeling safe? So how can you move forward with this flow while feeling safe with this earth energy? And if you're feeling fear, which is this energy surrounding you, this fear, anxiety, but in this sort of divine sense that you're maybe not necessarily going to know what's going on, and that can create its own anxiety, how can you move forward feeling safe? And just to get a couple of fortune cards, can you get a couple of fortune cards for Cancer, please? A few fortune cards to help frame the reading for Cancer. Okay, that's one. Fortune cards to help frame this reading for Cancer, please. And maybe just one more. Thank you. So we got something important, such as a new job or a raise. So new stuff is going on. So even good or helpful or adaptive stressors can still be stressors, but something coming up. So something important, such as new job or raise. Pig, beware of greed, and greed can come in many forms, including the way that we balance our emotions and things like that. So beware of greed. And Kangaroo, unsettled times and need to plan ahead. So it's kind of obvious from this reading that you are feeling unsettled, Cancer, and that's absolutely to be expected, especially for that message to come out on a Scorpio moon. Of course, I didn't even relate this in with the fact that the Pisces card came up. So we have a Scorpio moon during Cancer season with this Pisces energy. There's really a lot of water energy going on in this reading, and the water is just going to feel unsettled sometimes. The Cancer archetype is really the lakes and the rivers and the streams, more of that gentle sort of water, but the water still flows and goes where it needs to go, and you can still have river rapids, so it doesn't mean that rivers and lakes and everything are always placid either, and that is just the part of the stage in the journey that you are on right now. Can I get a Rumi card for Cancer? Just the first one I see, please. Can I get a Rumi card for Cancer, please? Just the first one I see. Divine Discontent. Oh, that's beautiful. I've never seen this card, but it really does seem like this is energy that you're kind of going through right now. And now, Pisces is the 12th sign, the mutable water, the 12th and final sign, divine discontent. So that's what's coming up for that moon energy. That energy surrounding you is what I'm kind of looking at most, because it really does frame this reading in a really nice way, because there's also advice in there of just kind of letting things happen sometimes, even if there's fear and anxiety associated with them. And it can be a relief to know that you don't necessarily need to always just be pushing through stuff. Divine discontent. Winter falls upon us so spring can bring new growth. Cry the tears. Very much Cancer season. Cry the tears. Allow the longing. Sadness brings surrender and a deep desire to be free. I know your heart. I hear it breaking and growing in darkest night when you imagine yourself to be silently cast adrift in sleep. It speaks to me, that sacred heart of yours, whispering its longing and bemoaning its divine discontent. It knows when something is amiss. It senses that something is not quite right as yet. There is a piece of the puzzle missing. Even in its tremendous gratitude for all that is, and there is much gratitude and sweet appreciation, Cancer, in that precious heart of yours, there is a murmuring, a questing. It cries out to heaven, vouchsafe me a blessing. I cannot go on. I am broken and in need of your tenderness for healing. I am empty and in need of filling, not with stuff and bits, that hunger. The hunger isn't necessarily about the food. But with the most precious nectar of divine fulfillment, nothing else will satisfy me. Please, please restore me to wholeness. I can bear this missing piece, this broken disarray no longer. I listen and I cajole that wise heart of yours. I praise it for its honesty and longing, for the longing is an irresistible perfume to the beloved attracting, the only salve that will soothe the divine discontent of your truth-speaking heart, that of divine presence, absolute and unquestionable. There's a sense within you, perhaps quite obvious to your conscious mind, or perhaps only dimly registered, that is an unnameable underlying sense of anxiety here, underlying sense of anxiety that you just can't push through, that something in your life is not quite right. Did I get rid of it? That something is not quite right. So, that's why maybe you're feeling this hunger. It may be the sense, even amongst so much gratitude, of a yearning yet to be met, a longing yet to be filled and satisfied. So it's really beautiful. This fear and anxiety of the energy surrounding you, of that water Pisces energy, and this hunger. There is a hunger that is not being fulfilled. It makes sense that you are sort of feeling scattered in your emotions, and that's okay. This is the pain of the awakening heart. As devotion grows and passion for the divine intensifies, so too does this yearning, so much so that this may come to feel as though your heart is breaking for the divine. Make your relationship sacrosanct, seek the divine in all things. When you cannot, when the power of lesser gods has you in its grip, acknowledge it and bear witness to it. So that is that moon energy. Sometimes there's just something divine and universal going on, and just witness it. Don't chastise it. Don't be this, this outcome of the ruthlessness, the high expectations. Don't chastise, instead be truthful. Let your heart break and lie prostrate on the floor, hands clutching and head bowed, as though only your sadness and plight could stir the heart of the divine beloved. Sometimes calling in the sadness, that is the call. We're not always just supposed to be happy and joyful and optimistic. Like it's not necessarily even the right answer to get to the next phase. If you must seek understanding, then know this, dear blazing angel. You are just waking from the deepest slumber, and with your awakening heart you are realizing a truth. A part of you, deeper and wider, vaster and more instinctive, truthful and intelligent than your mind, is lonely for the divine embrace. This is right, this is sensible, this is sanity. It's sane. It's sane that you're feeling this hunger and this longing, and that you're feeling a little wild and all over the place. The discontent divine growing within you is the beginning, not the destiny. Its purpose is to lead you into your greatest connection yet with divinity. Do not resist it, witness it. Don't dismiss it. Don't be scared with this moon card here. For you are my sidekick on this great holy adventure. I am here, you see, just around the corner. I have you in my sights, though you may not see me yet. I am holding a loaf of fresh bread, hot from the kitchen of the Creator, Cancer season, feeding that hunger, hoping to entice you with its wafting scent, tempting you to follow me on towards something of far more substance. If you are still stuck on pine-scented air freshener, imagining it is anything akin to the wild scent of the pine forests for real, this growth card that you got here, then how can I tempt you? Let the stench be the stench. Then the fragrance of God can be discerned, and together we can leave what is behind once and for all, grabbing like hungry school children for the divine bread with sweet, fresh scent filling the air. With that Gemini North node, the air. So this hunger, this fear and the anxiety, but this is where this is where you're supposed to be right now. And the Taurus reading that I just did had something about following the nose and following the senses. So that's beautiful too, because this is, following your senses into, the kitchen of the divine. And having this be divine discontent. Sometimes the discontent itself is the spiritual energy. And allowing yourself to flow with that. So thanks for joining, Cancer.